There's a letter that shows up after you file your claim, and it scares veterans more than the denial does. An appointment notice. 1 hour, with an examiner you've never met, and what goes into that report can move your rating more than almost any paper in your file. Veterans walk in cold and lose money in that room, the same money they spent months fighting for. And the way most of them blow it isn't lying, and it isn't whining. It's being tough. Remember our Road March veteran, the one who tore up his knee back in '98 and built the evidence to prove it? His notice just hit the mailbox. C&P exam. Thursday, 0900. Let's get him ready. First, know what this thing is because the name fools people. Compensation and pension exam. It is not a doctor's visit. Nobody is treating you that day. The VA orders one when your file alone isn't enough to rate the claim. That's the actual rule. When the medical evidence is not adequate for rating purposes, an exam gets authorized. So the notice itself is telling you something. There's a gap in your file, and this appointment is how the VA fills it. The person across the desk might be VA medical staff, or a contractor from a company like VES or QTC. Either way, they're not your doctor. No follow-up, no prescriptions, no care plan. They review your claims file, ask their questions, run whatever testing the condition calls for, and then they produce exactly one thing: a written opinion. And that opinion goes straight to the rater who decides your claim. Here's the picture to hold in your head when you walk in. The exam is a camera. It takes one photo of one day, and that photo is what the rater is holding when they pick your percentage. They don't rate your life, they rate the photo. Show up on a rare good morning, smile through it, tell them you manage, and the camera does its job perfectly. It records a man who's fine. The whole game is simple to say and hard to do. Make the photo tell the truth. Now, the best news nobody tells you. The examiner isn't winging it. They're filling out a form called a DBQ, a Disability Benefits Questionnaire, and there's a specific one for your condition. The knee DBQ asks about range of motion, locking, instability. The PTSD DBQ asks how often, how severe, and what it does to your work. Every box on that form maps to the rating criteria. Filled out complete, the rater has everything needed to assign your percentage. Rushed or half blank, you pay the price. And here's the part that should change how you prepare. Those forms are public. You can pull the exact DBQ for your condition off the VA's website tonight and read every question before anybody asks it. On most tests, that would be cheating. Here it's called being squared away. Walk in already knowing the rubric. Then comes the part where good veterans wreck good claims. The examiner asks how you're doing, and 20 years of conditioning answers before your brain does. I'm fine. I manage. It's not that bad. You were trained to push through pain and present well under pressure, and that training follows you into the one room where it costs you money. Understating your symptoms isn't toughness in there. It's handing the camera a false picture. So here's the standard. Describe the worst day, honestly. If the knee locks up twice a week and takes stairs out of your life, that goes on the record. If the bad nights are 3 hours of sleep, that goes on the record. Don't inflate anything. Examiners are trained to spot a performance, and exaggeration poisons the credibility of everything else in your file. But don't you shrink it either. Our veteran's knee felt halfway decent that Thursday morning. Doesn't matter. The camera needs frequency, severity, and the worst presentation, or the photo lies for you. If you're claiming a joint, a knee, a shoulder, the spine, understand that the rating criteria speak one language, degrees. The examiner puts a tool on your knee, basically a protractor for your body, and measures how far it moves. Active motion, how far you can move it yourself. Passive motion, how far it goes with the examiner assisting. Pain on motion, noted and recorded. A proper joint exam captures all of it because the percentage hangs on those numbers. 2 orders for that table. 1. If the examiner checks active motion and stops, flag it, right there, politely. An exam that skips half the measurements can be challenged as incomplete, and in a minute you'll hear the rule that backs you up. 2. Do not grit your teeth through the measurement. If it hurts at 30 degrees, the record needs to say, it hurts at 30 degrees. Toughing through it erases your symptom from the file. Next, the work question. The regulation tells raters to view your condition from the point of view of a veteran working or seeking work. So connect every symptom to what it stops you from doing. Not my back hurts, but I can't sit through a shift without standing up every 20 minutes. The days you call out, the tasks you hand off, the duties you quietly stopped doing years ago. That's the language the rating system actually pays in. 2 moves while you're there. 1, you're allowed to bring somebody, a spouse, a battle buddy. The examiner can limit how much they participate, but nothing in the rules keeps them out of that room. And if the report later claims you said something you never said, you've got a witness. 2, the minute you're back in the truck, write everything down. What they asked, what you answered, what they measured, how long it all took. If that report comes back wrong, your same-day notes are the receipt. The exam ends, the opinion gets written, and now the piece of the machine most veterans never learn. The examiner doesn't decide your claim, the rater does. The exam opinion is evidence, heavy evidence, but it's one input, and the rules require the rater to read it against your whole recorded history. 1 bad hour does not erase years of treatment notes and statements, and the regulation hands you a safeguard most veterans never use. If the report doesn't contain enough detail to support its own conclusions, the rating board doesn't get to shrug and rate you on it anyway. The rule says they must return it as inadequate. Rushed exam, half the measurements missing, reasoning that doesn't match the findings. That report can be sent back and the exam done over. You can demand better in writing, and the regulation is on your side. Even a flat-out unfavorable opinion isn't the end of the road. You answer it with an independent medical opinion from a private doctor, the same play we built in the evidence episode. Both opinions go into the file and compete for the rater's weight, and the one with the better reasoning wins. A bad exam is a setback. It is not a verdict. Now, the one mistake in this whole process that can end the claim outright, not showing up. Miss that exam without a word, and the VA can decide the claim on the file alone, or deny it for failure to cooperate. Months of work, gone over a missed appointment. If you can't make it, call the same day you know, get it rescheduled, and write down who you talked to and when. That one phone call protects everything you've built. Back to our veteran. Thursday, 0900. He walks in with 1 page of notes. Every symptom, how often, and what the worst day takes from him. He's already read the knee DBQ, so not one question surprises him. When the examiner measures the bend and starts to move on, he speaks up, polite and direct, and the second measurement goes on the record. He says the true thing instead of the tough thing. The camera fires, and for the first time, the photo matches the knee. 28 years after that road march, the rater finally has what they need to put the right number on it. One more thing. Thank you for your service and for doing the preparation your claim deserves. The full C&P chapter with the worst day prep drill and the exam day checklist is going into the Veteran Field Manual, so subscribe and you'll know the day it drops. And one favor. Somebody in your circle has an exam notice sitting on their kitchen table right now. Send them this before their Thursday comes. The system bets on veterans walking in cold. Prove it wrong. Together.